Morning, ladies. Guys are looking beautiful as always. Alright, morning everyone. Chris here. Hope you guys are all having a good December, staying healthy, staying warm. It's pretty warm here actually. It's supposed to get cold next week, but at the toy box, as you can see, I got a couple buddies and my neighbor coming here pretty soon, but I wanted to get a head start on things. So I got the ZR1 moved over here last week. It's just been sitting here waiting to get cleaned. Probably looks clean on camera, and to be honest, it is pretty clean, but I give all the cars a, like here, now you can see. There, that's not so clean. There, so you guys don't think I'm losing my mind cleaning a clean car. But I give all the cars a nice clean up and, you know, top off the tires and everything before we put them in the lifts. It's been a pretty busy, zoom this out, been a pretty busy week for me. I'm trying to do a ton of stuff at work, and as usual I've got about 15-30 balls in the air at one time, but a couple of those balls have things to do with vehicles. Pot doesn't know this yet, but I think he's going to want to be involved, make it a PaFur. We were given the opportunity to put an order in for a new Mercedes GT Black Series. If you guys don't know what the Black Series are, like, you know, Mercedes has their like their normal vehicles, and then they make an AMG version, which is like performance version. Like this is an E53 AMG. It's kind of their performance, not top of the line, but you know what I'm saying. We'll go over here. This is an S65 AMG. They have the S550, 63, and 65. AMG is kind of their like next level performance, and Black Series is like another notch above that. They only do maybe once every 5 to 7, 8, 9, like 5 to 8 years, I would guess. And we had a SLS Black Series back in the day. It was solar beam yellow. My dad bought it brand new. He only put, I think, like 100 miles on it, and he got sick with prostate cancer and all this other stuff, and he just, you know, decided to let it go, and he drove it back to the dealership. He sold it back to him actually, and as soon as he pulled into the service bay, it ticked over to 100 miles, but he sold it for what he paid for it. We didn't know those things were going to double in value, you know, 10 years later, not even 10, 6 years later. But, you know, with this GT coming out with the Black Series version, I think you might want to be involved in that. So I know I talk about all the time, you know, get rid of cars to save money, pay off some debt. But if you guys haven't learned by now, I don't know why I surprise myself every time. I pay off debt just to spend it elsewhere. So I did put a $5K deposit down on that GT Black Series. So we haven't gotten we got the allocation, but we haven't built anything yet. I'll probably bring you guys along the ride with that. But yeah, I'm not sure what color options there are. Solar beam yellow, I think would be pretty sweet to do, you know, kind of to replace that SLS Black Series that he unfortunately got rid of. But for myself, I'm getting kind of bored with the truck. I love this truck, don't get me wrong. It's a Mopar, so it has its things that are kind of irk me, but I don't know. I'm just kind of, I miss my Cayenne. I shouldn't have got rid of that. That was dumb. It was such a sweet car. I can still buy it back, but I'm not gonna. You know, who knows who's test driven it and how they've test driven it? I don't know. I feel like it's like taking your ex-girlfriend back. It's just not a good idea. So I'm thinking about trading. I went to Motorworks yesterday and built a X6. Talked up a deal with them. I think we have the numbers where they need to be, where they should be. It's just a matter of me saying, okay, let's. Actually, no, they came back for one more volley. Just so then I'm sure they can get there. They should be able to get there. But then it just comes down to, you know, me saying let's go. And BMWs, I totally forgot about them. I'm a huge, you know, like German fan. Porsche is my favorite brand ever. But BMW is something like I've had 4 or 5 X6s in the past, and I believe 2020 is the new generation, like 3rd generation, I want to say. So, but I remember really liking my X6. It drove awesome. I'm pretty sure BMW around here at least have kind of a bad rep for the drivers. I think they're like, I don't know what's the right word. I think they're entitled. I think that's kind of the rap that BMW owners get. But I just remember my X6. I think I had the 50i. I didn't have the V6. I didn't have the M. I had the one in between. I think it was the 50 back then. 'Cause it's 50 now. I don't know. It was quick, and now they got like 530 horse, and you can still get them for under 100 grand. I hate driving daily cars that it costs more than 100 grand because the depreciation is just nuts. Like this truck, for example, you know, you stickers like 68, you spend 56 on it, trade it in a year later, it's worth like 48. You know, you really don't lose much money compared to something like this, like that Challenger. I think I paid like 88 for it, and it's worth, according to dealerships, it's only worth like 65. It's dumb. So anything past, you know, up to that 100,000 mark, it's appreciated pretty quick, unless it's like a rare vehicle like the Viper or the 911. So, that was a good long rant, but that's been my week. And again, I'm trying to do so much at work to increase sales. COVID had a lot to do with it, I'm sure, but there's just a lot more business out there that we can get. But I will stop ranting about that. I'm going to do a quick wash on the ZR1, probably similar to what I did on the Challenger. I think you guys like that style where it's sped up. I like doing the wash and talk, but I think it's boring. I don't have enough to talk about. So I think as I am maybe drying this thing, I can, God, this is badass. I can talk about this car in a little bit more depth. So it's such a badass car, but there's things about it that irk me. Ryan, you're one of my longtime subscribers. I mentioned this Challenger having, you know, it being Mopar. It's not the most expensive. It's kind of cheap actually. And there's things about all these Mopar cars that I've had that irk me. And let me show you what I'm talking about with this. What's it called? It's like center armrest. Okay, it's not going to show up really well on. I don't even have light. How do I turn this on? All right, this is a waste. But you can kind of. Can you see? No, you can't. All right, never mind on that. But there are things, you know, about Mopar cars that, you know, they're cheap compared to like something like that. I talked about in the last video. You know, comparing that $90,000 Challenger to this $90,000 Mercedes, just the fit and finish of the Mercedes is 1,000 times nicer. Same goes to say with the ZR1. You know, this is 100 and how much was this thing? Like 115 or something like that. And yeah, it's blisteringly fast, but you know, things like even like the backup camera and all these, well, I guess all these cameras. I'll show you when I'm driving it around, but yeah, these cameras in the front that kind of show you how close your front splitter is to hitting things. And honestly, like the iPhone from 8 years ago has better resolution than this 2019 ZR1 cameras do. It's just cheap. I don't know why they do that. So okay, I probably got people here waiting outside actually. I'm gonna set up the GoPro and we'll do a time-lapse wash for you guys real quick. different cars. Because you got remote start. Not sure how I feel about this bra being here. Little tint. But since I'm in here, let me show you the, if I can find it, camera. So like even this isn't like just cheap. Like I had to push it a little harder. It's kind of just dumb. I mean, granted the cameras are wet, but let's be honest, the quality isn't much better. Look at this reverse camera. See, look at that. It's just not, I mean, it looks better on this camera, the one that I'm filming with, than it does on the screen. And then these front ones, I mean, I don't know. It oddly looks better, like I said, on this camera than it does on those screens right there. But like, see, I don't know, it's just cheap. And I mean, I'm nitpicky, so I find like everything wrong with anything. But for, you know, over 100 grand, I would expect a little bit better of a camera. But it is Chevy. But check out this interior real quick. I mean, this is nice. You got nice padded material right here. You have this that fake suede throughout. Seats are full of it. I've always liked that Corvette has kind of like this hatch feel. Let me rev this up for you guys real quick. It's just, I don't know, it's a nice car, don't get me wrong. Stitching here it's really nice, but it's just cheap. You know, here's plastic right here. Mirrors are okay. You got, you know, cheaper materials on the side. I guess some of it would be for weight savings, but I mean, they could have lined this with leather. I don't know, again, I'm nitpicking, but for over 100 grand, I'd want something a little bit more than just power. But this thing, like the Hellcat, kind of makes up for it because it's got like 700 some horsepower. Look at King. What do you think, King?
I dig it.
You dig it?
It's nice.
I'm just talking about like the quality of things. I wish it was better in some ways. Okay, if you haven't figured out by now, I'm a pretty big fan of the Adams line of product. I like a lot of different stuff, like Zano and, you know, Gion and CarPro and also Adams, but I like going to places that offer basically everything that I would ever want, from tire dressing to interior stuff. There's some things that I would drift away from one brand. That's what I'm getting at with this. But I like to keep all my stuff kind of in the same house, I guess you could say, same brand. So when it comes to like car shampoo or drying aid or interior detailer or wheel cleaner, tire cleaner, you know, things like that, I like to keep it all in the same brand just because I think it looks cool. So I've got everything blown off here. I like to use this Adams spray coating. I think this is kind of a ceramic type. Yeah, part of the ceramic line. I don't know if they even offer this anymore. I got this maybe a year ago, and I don't think I've seen that on their website in a while. I think it's been replaced by C3, if I sound right. But I use this as a drying aid, even though it's not intended to be. It just makes things a lot easier. Typically what you do is you would dry it with a towel, and then you would spray that on a applicator pad and just apply it kind of like you would a ceramic coating, and then let it sit for a minute or so, and then just buff it right off. That works out very well, and I have done that before, but I also want to use it up so I can use other stuff, so I've just been using it as a drying aid, and it kind of dilutes it a little bit. It doesn't, I don't think I mean, maybe it does, but I don't think it takes away as much of the properties as the ceramic side of that spray is supposed to, you know, intended for. But so right now I'm gonna just dry this thing. But I wanted to do a little highlight. This is what I've been using as a drying aid. It's similar to like Top Coat or Ammo's Hydrate. That's kind of what I'm using it for. Again, it's not really designed for that, but it works really great as it. That's what I've done with all these cars. They've all been, you know, washed and dried using this Adams spray. And if you come up to any one of these, like this one was done a couple weeks ago, yeah, it just feels extremely soft and smooth. Let's check out the Challenger. I did that one last week, And the longer you let this stuff sit, yeah, that's smooth. The longer you let this stuff sit, I don't want to say harder, but you don't want to. I wouldn't want to put it on my truck and then go drive it outside in a snowstorm 10 minutes later, because it kind of would defeat the purpose. But so the longer it sits, the better it reacts. That's the word. I know I just talked about things like being cheap. As I'm driving this front thing, like, look at that. I shouldn't be able to pop that out. I don't know. I mean, again, this is a 750 horsepower just beast of a car, but I mean, should I be able to do that? For 100 grand, I don't think so. And I hope to God that Chevy corrected some of the stuff on their C8, because you can't. I don't think it's good to. I don't think it's a good product to have this. Again, I just barely pushed on it as I was drying it, and the whole thing just popped right out. I don't want to keep doing it because I don't want it to get weakened, but I don't know. I hope moving forward Chevy kind of fixes that, because damn, this is such a badass car. Anyway, proceed. I think keeping your car clean and watching me do it is contagious, because I just heard my neighbor Jim, he just asked King, like, what's the next step? The next step is to rinse it off to prepare for wash there, Jim. I think that's good. I think it's good when people take pride, like me, for example. Like my life consists of, family, work, and hobbies. I would put them in that order too. I'd say family comes first, work is second, and then the hobbies, paintball and cars. And I think it's good to have passion in the things that you enjoy doing, whether it's cars or sports or Pokemon cards or whatever, Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know what people are into besides that, but whatever it is, you might as well do it right. I'm taking the time and making this car look as good as it is because I want it to, because I have passion. I have not just financial investment into this car. This is a PaFur car, but I have emotional investment and hard work. Like I work hard to be able to, my dad and I to be able to afford all this stuff. And yeah, I think there's worse things in life that money could go towards. But if you, whatever it is, you have passion and you take pride in it. I think it says a lot about your character. So it's nice to have, my neighbors, he's always taking his car to touchless car washes and, those things that don't do a very good job. Even my friend Rush in Longdong, I know you're watching this, like, it's a big difference going from, having this, I'll just go to the car wash, to actually taking the time and effort to do it yourself and do it the right way. Because, he works hard for his money, he works hard to pay for that car, keep it looking nice. Same thing with work or relationships, you got to put work into them. Otherwise it's going to end up turning into garbage and rusting over and spending days in the shop. So, okay, I'm going to keep on driving. So I just heard Jim ask what the next step is, and it's made me think. Alright, I'm just getting to the drying part of the door jams. I don't want to make this video all about what I don't like about this car. I'll go through the things that I do like, but I want to be honest with you guys. I'm transparent, I'm honest, and someone made a comment the other day in one of my videos talking about how I don't just rent or borrow these cars from people for an hour and give them a review. This is real life stuff that I share with you guys. So one of the things is this dang latch. You can see I got the camera angled differently, but this latch is tough to open up. Press and hold this button on the key fob, and it only opens up like half an inch, I think. And then to get it, you can either gotta come over here, and not hit your knuckles on. Right now, my knuckles are hitting. So you have to kind of finesse it. Like my knuckles are hitting right here too, but I just want to move them out of the way in order to do that. Granted, people don't buy this car to get groceries in, I don't believe, but I don't know what else Chevy could have done to make that better. Besides, I mean, this is right here. I'm sure on all Corvettes. But I mean, the odds of me. That's the closet. What am I talking about? But they could have made it like, see, my fingers are pinching right now. I have to just drop it. But I don't know, maybe just some experienced people come to learn to lift up on the side. I would just feel a little sketchy about that. Maybe it's just me. I like that these doors are padded like that. They didn't get rid of those. The padded meaning this little pad right here that you use to open up the door. Ooh, let me show you the engine compartment since I have everything open here. You got a little button right. Is it down here? Yeah. Pretty sure these are functioning. Oh, that's right. This is a clamshell. Like the Viper. God, that thing weighs nothing. I don't know if that does justice, but that's right. This whole thing's exposed. Alright, so the LT5, I think it's 750 horsepower motors covered by this pretty badass looking carbon fiber cover, but I mean, kind of like the Challenger, this is a lot of motor for this car. Looks better in here, I think. Never really looked at this. That's looks like it's covered. Sweet. I like the black on orange contrast, but I've always been a fan of just painted or aluminum wheels. Similar to, like, even the Challenger I'm not that big of a fan on. But like, I love those look. I love the way these look. I love the way these look. Alright, I'm going to keep on drying I'm going to dry the wheels and the jams and wrap this video up. Okay, I know I just said that I like to stick with the same brand of products, and that's true. But here's another one that I swear by. This is Zano Z9. If you haven't heard of Zano, they used to be huge back in the late 90s, early 2000s when I got into detailing. I've been doing this since before I could drive. My first car, for example, had like 8 coats of Z5 on it before I even had my license. Anyway, this is Zano Z9 leather soft. Stuff works awesome. Usually what I would do is I would spray it on a panel. Rub it in with the brush. This car only has like 200 miles on it, which doesn't, mean that I wouldn't do that still. But I just don't take the time right now to do that, so I'm just gonna spray it on this towel. Stuff works really well, but more importantly, it smells amazing. And then I'm just gonna rub it into all the leather. If this is leather, which I assume it is. Maybe not. Chevy, I don't know. But I'm just gonna work it in. I'm going to do that throughout the whole entire car. Okay, I just went around and dried off the wheels. Been using this stuff for a while. Ammo mud. I'm just using it up. I wanted to start using Adams rubber tire. I think it might be even vinyl, but rubber tire dressing. This stuff works really well. It penetrates the rubber nicely and doesn't fling up. Doesn't drip anywhere. Gives it a nice matte finish when you're all done. Maybe I'll keep using this stuff. This might be like Z9 where I just use it because it's unique, but I haven't tried that Adams stuff yet, so maybe that's this is nice. Once that dries, it'll look nice and matte black as it should. Alright, last thing I do when I go through this routine of getting these cars prepped for the season is I go around and I increase or I set the tire pressure up to whatever it needs to be. This one happens to be set to 30 psi on all 4 tires. I got this DeWalt tire inflator. It's actually really slick. So you just turn it on. Turn it on. And this is reading the tires are at 26.6. You turn this dial to the desired PSI, which is 30 on this again, and just press play. And just like that, she's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that to all 4 tires. You know, they somehow lose pressure when they just sit. So I'm sure they're all down about 3 to 4 psi. So I'm gonna walk around and do that real quick. All right, I think I got her done. I think she's looking pretty good. So let me do a quick walk around here for you guys. What is that? See those lines right here? Some scratches going on. I hope that's in the film. Let's check this out real quick. Like, one thing I like about this film is that it's pretty self-healing. Usually I could fix this like by leaving it in the sun. There you go, see that? You fix this by putting it in the sun, or you could do like hot water or something, or you can do like a heat gun like this. So let's see if this takes them out. There's a bunch of them right here. Some up here you can't see on camera, I don't think. So we see those right there. Those are look like little scratches. There's a whole bunch of them up here too that you can't really see on camera, but if it takes them out. Don't want to get too hot. Hopefully that came up on camera. I think they're done. Let's get some more up here. So something must have been touching right here. Maybe one of the kids or something, or maybe a bad towel. And they just go right away. You don't want to burn the plastic by any means, but I don't have this thing very hot. Yeah, there she goes, done. That's the thing I like about this film. See that, boys? Keeps your valuables looking good. All that took was a little bit of heat. I didn't have to polish anything. I saw that as I was doing the walk around. I didn't have to polish it. anything, because I did polish this guy before we had it clear broad, and you can see how easily that just came out. So that's self-healing properties. This thing is pretty wide. I was trying to get it even on the lift here and a little close on this side. I might adjust that real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna adjust that once I turn this off. All right, I'm gonna end this video here. Such a sweet car. All right, hey, if you guys don't mind subscribing, I think 80, it's still upper 80% of you guys who are watching this right now are subscribed. Help me grow the channel. I'd appreciate that. But as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Have a good Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. I like it.